Good morning, good morning. Hello, beautiful people. This is All in Me. And on this beautiful Tuesday, I will be talking to you about relationships. Bum, bum, bum. This Friday, I will be celebrating 6 years of wedding bliss. Yes, six. And that might not seem like a lot to some people, but in today's day and age, making it past the 3 and 5 year mark is extraordinary. So I'm happy about my 6 years. So, what does it take to make a good relationship? I'm not even talking about marriage, I'm just talking about relationship in general. I think the very first thing that makes a good relationship is self love. If you do not have self love, you just ain't gonna make it. I'm sorry. Because in a relationship like that, there will always be somebody giving more than the other. And if that's the type of relationship you have, you will burn out. That's the relationship I had before I met my husband, so I speak from experience. High school sweetheart, love of my life, my boo thing, my everything. And that's who I thought I was supposed to marry. That's who I was supposed to be with. But it wasn't going to work. I loved him far more than he loved me. And I loved him more than I loved myself as well. So that just wasn't going to work. And loving him more than I loved myself, that means I was willing to put myself on the back burner in order to make him happy, push all of my feelings aside to make that other person happy. And it was killing me inside, like killing me. I thought I was worthless when he broke up with me. We broke up on multiple occasions. So when he would break up with me, I would feel like the scum of the earth. Like, I have given you everything. Why are you breaking up with me? And once I finally realized that this shit is old and I'm done and I'm tired and I'm not going to do this for another year, another day, another second, and I finally called it off, I was sad, but I was excited for me because I was going to be able to get to know me. When you're the one that calls it off, that means the shit is dead, it's over, it's done. You are just ready to move the hell on. And that's what I did. I moved right the hell on to myself. That's another relationship with somebody else, to myself. I started dating me. I figured out what made me feel good, what made me happy. I took myself on dates. Yes, I was in the movie theater, at the restaurant, party of one, getting it in, happy. And it felt good. So when my husband came along, 6 years, 6 years, Lord have mercy, 6 months into my feel good period, I was like, what the hell you doing? This is all about me time. This is not a space where I want anybody else to come in. But apparently that wasn't my decision to make. The Lord had literally sent this man my way because I was so upset when I met him and I started liking him, and even more upset when I found out I loved this man because I wasn't supposed to be there at that point in my life. I felt like I still needed some time to love on myself. But apparently 6 months of loving on yourself was all I needed to realize I have to put me first, because this man came in like a tornado and turned my world upside down and basically just changed my whole view on relationships and how they work. But I was able to accept him because I had already loved on myself. I found me. I got to be the core of me. I figured out all my flaws. I accepted all of them. I lived with them. I basked in them. And I was good with it. So when he came, it was like, okay, I guess we could do this thing. It's cool. So we started our relationship with a friendship, just a genuine friendship. We love to talk to one another. We spent a lot of time together. And like I said, when I started liking him, I was like, okay, I guess. But when I started loving him, I was just like, no. And it wasn't anything spectacular. He was just being him. He wasn't feeding me lines. He wasn't doing any of that. It was just him being him and accepting me for who I was. And I fell in love with that person. And here we are, married with kids. And it's worked out beautifully. But I feel like one of the hardest things we've had to hurdle over in our relationship is me becoming a stay at home mother. You know, when I found out I was pregnant with my daughter and I was going to be a mommy, I was so excited. I was so happy. It was something I had never wanted. And when it happened, it felt really good. And I became a stay at home mother. And it was like, this is this is very different. I've always been a working woman. You know, I've always had a job. I had my own when he met me. I was working. I had my own apartment. You know, he moved in with me. I was the epitome of the independent woman. You know, come on, boo, live with me. I got you. You know, he had a job, but you know, you ain't got no crib. That's fine. Come on, kick in on half of this rent. You know, so to go from somebody who had their own all the time to someone who was now depending on someone else solely for your source of income was very hard for me. It was something I really had to get used to, and something he also had to get used to. You know, this is him now having to provide for a family and also having to assure his woman, his mate in life, that what she brings to the table is more valuable than anything she can bring into the household monetarily. And that's something we still go through to this day because, you know, my two babies, I love them. I love them to death. And with my daughter starting school, I get to be there for her events, no questions asked. You know, I get to be that good mommy. But still, you know, there's days when you're just like, should I be doing more? Is what I'm doing enough? You know, can I still, you know, do something else? Because, you know, there's single parents out there who do it all. So I feel like, you know, can't I? Can I do it all? You know, and he just has to say, sit your ass down somewhere. I'm not asking you to do it all. I'm asking you to be the mother to my kids, which in our relationship is very important because my husband is military, so he's not always present, you know. So I have to be that parent that's always there, that's grounded, you know, that's always around. So I get it, but it doesn't make it any easier. You know, it's still a very hard thing to get used to, you know, not bringing in your own checks. But we've made it work. We've definitely gotten through it. And, you know, I'm not going to say it's not going to rear its ugly head again. I'm quite sure it definitely will. But just like before, we'll get through it. Um, Another thing is communication. Everybody always says it, but it is very important. I don't care who you are. Communication is very important. And, you know, that saying that, oh, they don't argue, they don't love each other, blah, 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 bullshit, not true. My husband and I do not argue, mainly because he's not arguing with me. I felt like arguing was the thing to do because I believe that if you don't argue to love each other, like who sits around not arguing with one another? People with common sense don't sit around and argue with each other. People with common sense don't yell at each other at the top of their damn lungs like they stupid. And my husband has taught me that. I'm sitting there hollering, and he just looking at me like I'm batshit crazy because he's not having it. He's just like, I ain't arguing with you. Go on and sit down somewhere until you calm down and you can talk to me like a grown ass woman. And it has made me more mature because, you know, I've had to be able to calm down and express myself and let him know how I'm feeling and what's going on. And by doing that, we have bypassed a lot of BS because a lot of times it's just miscommunication. It's just him thinking one thing and I'm thinking something totally different. And when we sit down to talk about it, it's just like, oh, well, I thought you were here and I was here, you know? And talking about it makes everything so much better. And, you know, a big thing for him is watching how he talks to me because I'm an emotional person. You know, I'm a Cancer. I'm all up in my feelings. you know, and I care about his opinion more than anything else in the world. I don't give a damn about what nobody else think about me, but my husband, his opinion is everything in the world to me. So he really watches what he says to me and how he says it, because I can take offense really quick and be all up in my feelings in the corner somewhere, like, why you say that to me? And he'll just be like, Lord, give me strength. So communication is definitely a big part of our relationship and making it work. Me being able to come to my husband and tell him my deepest fears and all of my problems is a great feeling. You know, you should be able to do that with somebody whom you vow to spend the rest of your life with, and, you know, who you say is your best friend. If your mate is truly your best friend, then you should be able to tell them how you're feeling about whatever, regardless. And we've had some conversation that's really touchy, but we've made it through because we were able to talk about it and we cared about each other enough to, excuse me, to make it work. You know, that's just what it takes. We just were able to get through it, and I'm proud of us for that. Everything else, I mean, everything else will fall into place. You have to figure out what works for you. Um, we definitely lived together before we got married. Yes. No, there were no ifs, ands, or buts about that. If I'm going to spend the rest of my life with you, I need to see what your nighttime habits is like. I need to know what you do on a daily basis. You know, is you leaving your drawers by the front door? Do you brush your teeth on time? Do you have bad personal hygiene when you up in the house? I need to know these things, you know. And living with my husband, I found out he would leave every light on in your house, from the kitchen to the bedroom to the bathroom. Got your TV on, playing the game with the computer on, just sucking up your electricity. And you know, it's things like that that you got to be like, can I deal with a high electricity bill because of this other person? You know, you just got to figure those things out. So other people are dead set against it because they feel like, if I let this person live with me before, you know, he puts a ring on it or whatever have you, then he's going to get complacent. Well, it's up to you to make sure that person does not get complacent, because you are not laying down with all this gorgeousness and not marrying it. That's not happening. And I don't believe in long engagements. If you've set it up that way because, you know, you want to plan the wedding of your dreams or your school and you want to get your career jumped off, that's fine. You know, kudos to you. But for me, I'm not looking down the line 5 and 6 years later and I'm still calling you my fiance. You know, that's not happening to me. Sorry, no go, no bueno. We just not having it. I can't do it. You know, so you have to figure out what works for you. But if you take that first step in loving yourself the way that you're supposed to, everything else will work, because you will know if that person is for you or not. And you will also know, you know, when it's right to stay and when it's right to leave. Because I love my husband to death, Lord knows I do. And he loves me to death. But we love ourselves enough to know that we will not stay in this marriage if it ever comes to a point where it's detrimental to our personal happiness. It won't happen. It's understood in our marriage that we like each other. We like having each other around. We like being married to each other. But it's not a need factor. I don't need him and he doesn't need me. We were already complete when we started this union. We did not complete each other. So that is also a very important point I wanted to make. Don't go into a relationship looking for someone to complete you. You have to be a complete circle first. You can't expect somebody to plug a hole in you and, you know, make you a happier person. You have to plug that hole yourself. So get your ducks in a row with yourself. Treat yourself good. Make yourself happy. Find out who you are, what you love, what you don't love, what you like, what you don't like, what you're willing to deal with for the rest of your life. What terms you're gonna come to this relationship with. You gotta make it work for you. And if you don't have all that, then you gotta go through life trying to figure it out. You're just gonna be trying to figure it out forever and ever until, like the VA commercial going, it's like, okay, I need to take a moment for myself. So that's my take on it. That's how I feel personally. It's gotten me to the 6 year mark. Yay, again for me and mine. Um, I hope this helps someone. I will be coming to you with more relationship videos on, friendships, families, all those crazy relationships in your life or whatever have you. But I hope you all are going to have a wonderful day. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.